Welcome everyone back to Evermoor. We are back in the Axolotl Kingdom as we have been for quite some time, and I'm going to be upgrading this ship because I like the idea of keeping what was already existing in this ocean and then revamping it a bit. I'm just going to leave this off to the side and I am going to build a whole different shipwreck that will be an improved shipwreck. It's still going to be a wreck, but it's an improved one. I did design the basic shape in Creative first because ships are kind of hard to master, especially when you want to build it on a particular angle. I didn't want to have to struggle in survival to get that, so I built it first in Creative and used Lightmatica to trace my schematic. It didn't end up being as big as I would have liked. I was hoping it would be twice the size of the existing shipwreck, and it actually looks roughly about the same size. But with the very limited space of water I had to work with, roughly 30 blocks, I couldn't really go much bigger unless I cut off the masts, but I didn't really want to do that either. Once I got the ship entirely made though, that's when I got a little more creative and started adding some extra details to it because while it does look like a broken down ship, it doesn't look old enough. It needs to look like it's got things growing on it and algae and all those nasty things. So I'm just going to add a bunch of nastiness as well as a few decorative pieces for inside the ship. And here we have a comparison of the old shipwreck compared to the new shipwreck, which is kind of funny because the old shipwreck looks newer than the new shipwreck does. Let's swim around a bit and look at some of the details. I think my favorite thing about this is that I put this gold that's spilling out of the barrels. Oh, and my underwater boat. I actually managed to get a boat under here, and for no other reason than I wanted to try it, see if it was possible, so I did that. Then I just scattered a lot of barrels. I wish I could place the candles on their side, but sadly I cannot. They're all just standing upright as if nothing happened to them. They weren't jostled around or anything. And then in the captain's cabin, I just have a chair, a chest, more candles, just a few things. I probably could have added more decorations. I also put some bubble columns around just to add that extra effect around the whole thing. There is also a hidden spore blossom so that when you get really close to the shipwreck, you'll get to see some of the spore blossom particles, and that kind of looks like algae going all around the ship. So that was a nice little touch too. I do like how this shipwreck turned out. It definitely is an improvement from this shipwreck, but I was kind of hoping that the ship itself would be almost converted into some kind of building for the Axolotl Kingdom. If you can picture it like an old shipwreck that was converted into a building. That's originally what I was picturing, and it didn't really work out that way. I ended up just going for a straight up shipwreck. But I might still add that ship building, if you will, somewhere else. And that somewhere else is going to be right next door because that seems the most logical place for it. I'm just going to have to clear a little bit of a space, just another giant pit, in order to maximize the amount of space. The ship that I'm building under here, as I said, is going to be more of a building and not so much an actual ship, so I just need to create the illusion of a ship, giving it just a rough shape with some windows. It doesn't have to look like a real ship, just a building in the shape of one, using a very similar color palette to all of the other buildings I have everywhere else. You'll also see that I'm planting kelp everywhere, and this is to help assist in creating more source blocks. I haven't been doing that in every section that I build in, but it does help a whole lot where I don't have to manually waterlog everything I build nearly as much when I put the kelp in there to begin with. Well, that's all fine and dandy now that I have the ship that I was originally picturing in here, but now I've got the rest of the space that I need to figure out what to do with it. I don't want to leave it just by itself in here. I want it to still look like a city and still look like it's got other things going on. So I decided to build these giant windows along the sides that kind of look like giant portholes, but they're all different shapes and sizes, and I will hollow those out later, converting them into some type of building or rooms. The ship is still the focal point, so we're going to have the path leading right up to it, and I'm really liking this area. It really wasn't planned that I was going to do all of this in this episode. It just kind of happened because I wanted to do the second ship. Now I'm ending up doing 3 times as much work for this episode than I was originally going to, but it's all good because I'm getting a lot more added to this kingdom, which is what I want, and sometimes it just takes one idea to spark 10 more. I think I have the new area done. I did spend some extra time doing the interiors, but I wanted to approach it from here so that we can get the full scope of it, see how it looks when you're approaching. I don't know if you remember this area. This was one of the first areas I ever did, and then we added this statue much later on, which really does add a lot to it. But this ship area that I just created, I had it connect to this part right here. It still looks kind of almost hidden. It doesn't really look like you can go anywhere through here, but now it has this little staircase. And I did put one of the trident lamps here. And then you'll come up here and you'll see the ship. That looks really nice. Is there a slime in my building? Hold up. Before I go look at that slime, you'll see that I turned all of these rooms into different colored rooms. So I've got on this side warm colors. I've got red, orange, yellow, pink, magenta, and then purple. That's dark blue, light blue, lime, green, and then the ship counts as cyan, I suppose. So we've got every color represented here, and apparently there's a slime chunk in here, so let's go check it out. Where is that slime? What in the world? Get out! You know what? You know what I've just decided? Get the big ones out of the way. The little slimes can't hurt you, so I could just leave them here and hope they don't die. We'll just leave them here. I don't think they despawn. I'm not positive about that. I don't know if I have to name them. But if they do despawn, it's fine. Well, since we're in here now, this is basically all these rooms are. They're very empty. They don't have any furnishings yet, but it did take me quite a bit of time just to get the basic layout done. But look out here. Look how cool that looks. All the colorful rooms. I think the yellow room is my favorite just because I love the yellow glazed terracotta. It's not my favorite color, yellow, but I just love the yellow glazed terracotta. It looks so pretty. And now we've got some baby slime. They should go into the lime room. We should call it the slime room because they are lime colored. Aren't they adorable? I love the baby slimes. So that's this side. Let's go in here real quick. I didn't do this staircase nicely, so I do need to clean this up, maybe widen it, just to make it look nicer. I do love this yellow room. I couldn't replace this stone because it's also exposed to the outside, so it's just going to stay stone, but that's fine. All you have to be able to see is the other side. And then the orange room is very weird. All of the oranges clash, but it's all right. And here is the red room, and there you can see the other colors from the other side, and you can see our shipwreck. Look, there it is. I don't typically do anything with all these bright colors, so I wanted to do something unique over here. It does look really nice having the pop of color underwater, even if it is just an interior. Getting to see it when you're swimming around does add a lot. Look at those little slimes, they're having so much fun over there. The other thing, of course, that we did is just the basic interior of the ship. There's nothing in there, it's just prismarine. But what I did do is I converted this little dome on top into a dolphin pod. This is the first dolphin pod that is different from the rest. First of all, it's bigger, but it is a completely different design because it's part of the building. But it's really nice to have these so that I can pick up a dolphin boost and swim around the whole city much faster. I am still going to have to add probably another one somewhere in this area. The more of these I have, the better. But that's pretty much all I've done with the ship so far, is put a dolphin in there. So that's this area that was very unplanned, but I do love how it turned out. It adds so much to this area, and I love how colorful it is. And here is how the area looks with shaders. I love this shader for underwater complimentary. I do adjust some of the settings to get it where I like it, removing fog and different things like that, but it looks so amazing. This shipwreck over here too also looks amazing with the shader. I love how it just looks so murky and dark and gloomy. I kind of want to keep that look in this area, or at least around this ship. You'll notice that I did put some sea pickles around for lighting, but I never used a stack of 4. I wanted to keep the lighting a little bit dimmer, so it's slightly dimmer than other areas. Like over here, you'll see how bright those sea pickles are compared to these ones. I wanted this area just to stay slightly dimmer. Over here could stand more lights probably, but this is all I have for now. So that is all of the work for this episode, all of the shipwrecks, all of the extra buildings. Hello, Mr. Drowned. Let me figure out what I'm doing with you. I really like it when I get these sparks of inspiration, doing something that I normally wouldn't do and then ending up liking it. I still might go back and add some different furniture and things in there if I ever think about it. But to be honest, I'm probably done with this area and I'm probably going to move on to another one. Thank you all for joining me on this episode and for watching hours of work condensed into a few minutes. I just enjoy making videos about all of this. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, and I hope to see you later.